Right now, I want to welcome to the program the Attorney General of the great state of Montana. Attorney General Tim Fox is with us. General, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Cam. How are you doing?
I am excellent. I appreciate you being able to spend a few minutes with us today, and thank you on behalf of gun owners across the country for leading the way in getting a number of your fellow attorneys general to sign on to this letter to the BATFE expressing your concern and opposition to the proposed ban on M855 ball ammunition.
Well, you're welcome, and certainly it was the right thing to do, Cam. We all know what's going on here. You can lose your liberty in big steps or in little steps, and with this administration, they're hell-bent to try to take it away from us one little step at a time. And so me and 22 other state attorneys general, saw this for what it was, and we, as you, I think, have said in an earlier segment, we were all prepared to make a comment, and then the ATF shelved, as they put it, the rule. We think the rule should be shredded, not shelved, and we're concerned that this is just a little a dodge act, if you will. We know that the administration will continue to try to erode our Second Amendment rights, and the state attorneys general are really the last defense in many respects on those constitutional protections, and we're glad to do it.
To that end, I know that one of the things that the letter pointed out is that virtually all centerfire rifle ammunition can penetrate soft body armor. We're talking about a matter of velocity, not necessarily a matter of components here. Since you sent out your letter, we've seen Congressman Steve Israel introduce legislation that would, in essence, General, ban all centerfire rifle ammunition and could, in fact, ban a lot of popular handgun calibers as well.
Well, and that we see this for what it is. You can probably make this argument, however tenuous it might be, that all manner of rounds could penetrate soft body armor. And the interesting thing here, as you know, the pretense was that this particular M855 round posed a threat to law enforcement. And as Montana's chief law enforcement officer, and with the 22 other attorneys general who are the chief law enforcement officers in their state, we've all checked, and that is not true. It's a ruse, and as you know, the number of police organizations have come out and said, that's just not the case. This hasn't proven to be of a particular threat to law enforcement. And I certainly care about our law enforcement men and women, and we want to keep them safe, but there's no point in making up things to try to justify these kinds of rules.
Well, and that's a very good point, and that is really become sort of the argument of the anti-gunners here, is that if you oppose this, General, you must be in favor of police officers being hurt. And yet I've heard from officers all around the country. In fact, I just heard earlier today from a U.S. Marshal who said nobody in his office, including himself, thinks that this would be a good idea at all.
Yeah, I think that's the consensus, and certainly there are detractors out there, and they'll try to come up with any kind of criticism they can, but there's no one more concerned about the safety of law enforcement officers in this state than me.
Well, I do appreciate everything that you've done, and clearly this is something that you and other attorneys general around the country are still concerned about, even, as you say, with the ATF hitting the pause button, so to speak.
Well, I think Director Jones of the ATF has actually come out since the 16th of March and indicated that he thinks that all of these sporting rounds are still a problem. And we know that's his mindset. We know that his boss, Attorney General Eric Holder, is anti-gun and anti-Second Amendment, and I would suspect that Ms. Lynch, his supposed successor, is in the very same camp. So we need to make sure we vet her background and where she stands on all this. And from what I'm told from some of my folks, friends in the U.S. Senate, she would not be much better on the Second Amendment, if at all, than General Holder.
That I think is a consensus, and I suppose if you're an anti-gun advocate, then you would think maybe she would be just as good as Eric Holder on the issue. I don't know, but I think that there is a great deal of concern among gun owners because, frankly, Attorney General, what we're talking about here is the administration ultimately, right? I mean, the administration's distaste and perhaps even disgust towards gun owners in the Second Amendment.
Well, I think that's true, and we've seen not only on Second Amendment issues, but immigration and environmental regulations, just about anything that you can think of. As the president has said, he's got a cell phone and a pen, and he's going to try to go around Congress in the remaining time that he has. And unfortunately, there are not a lot of avenues for Congress because of the president's veto power. But we do have a lot of avenues with state attorneys general offices, and that's why we're here, and that's what we'll continue to do, is protect the freedoms and constitutional rights of Americans.
Sounds like if you and other attorney generals, but I'll just ask you, if you think that the ATF were to take an unconstitutional step in banning ammunition, whether it's the M855 or a larger ban, would you be prepared then to file suit?
Well, yeah, we do it in a lot of ways. States can file suit on behalf of our citizens. As you know, we file friend of the court or amicus briefs at every level, and I think I hadn't been in office but maybe a few weeks a couple of years ago that I filed my first brief in the United States Supreme Court with another bunch of other attorneys general on a Second Amendment issue. So we can't be shy about protecting our constitutional rights, and whether they be First or Second or any other amendment. And that's part of our jobs as state attorneys general, and I take that very seriously.
Well, General Fox, again, thank you so much for your time today, sir. It's a real pleasure talking with you. Hope we can do it again.
Thank you, Cam. You're going to be in Nashville this next month?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, I'll look for you.
All right. We'll see you there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Tim Fox, the Attorney General of the great state of Montana, join us. See, everybody is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee for the NRA annual meetings, April 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's coming up in less than a month.